Recently there was a video on YouTube that featured an Aikido guy sparring an MMA guy. If you want to know my thoughts on this, stay tuned and watch this short video. If you want to master MMA fundamentals, check out my instructional called MMA Essential Lessons. In it you can learn about clinch takedowns, boxing, grappling, Muay Thai, ground and pound, Thai and puppet master clinch, escapes from inferior positions, and shooting takedowns. Check out the link in the description below. Hi, my name is Mark Leichner from MMAcoach.net, where we teach coaches, fighters and enthusiasts how to train smart and not just hard. Today I'm going to talk about a video that was released recently. It featured a Lithuanian Aikido black belt named Rokas Leonavičius sparring an MMA fighter. This video got a lot of comments and reactions from both the traditional martial arts community and the MMA community. And I wanted to give you my 2 cents. I will both praise Rokas for doing this and criticize some of his views. Let's start with praise. It is great that he tested himself in this way to find out if his skills can be effective against an MMA fighter. That makes him one of the very few people among the traditionalists that have actually stepped outside of their comfort zone. And I congratulate him for that. His hunch was right, since he predicted before the sparring session that he will not do well against his MMA sparring partner. That tells me that he already knew or assumed that the outcome would be him not being able to mount any kind of offense nor offer too much resistance. But it doesn't matter. They sparred and we got to see the result, which surprised no one. I also liked that the sparring was light and that there were no hard strikes thrown by his MMA partner, so Rokas was giving a lesson without being injured. I liked some of his conclusions after the sparring, and some were not very clear to me. Besides offering my opinion on this whole event, I will ask questions regarding some of his conclusions. First, you will hear parts of what Rokas had to say and then my reactions. His statements will come from 2 videos, the original Aikido vs MMA sparring video and the aftermath video, which he shot after the sparring one. Let's start.
In general, I think the message is clear. It's obvious that Aikido is not meant for this situation, or it should be practiced in a different way.
Yes. What is Aikido meant for then? And in what way should it be practiced in order for it to be effective?
I'm really grateful for the chance, and I'm really thankful to Tadas that he went with me as really a student, not as an equal. I think if he would go on me as an equal, I think I would be dead by now.
I like that too. That was a friendly and controlled sparring session where the point of Aikido's ineffectiveness has been made without the Aikido practitioner being injured.
And if you have the question, okay, somebody else would have done from the Aikido world would have done better than me, for sure there are some who train more rough, more street Aikido.
You are a young and fit guy, so I imagine that you wouldn't do much worse than other Aikidokas. Of course, there are differences between individuals, but the main problem here is the ineffectiveness of Aikido, not how different practitioners would do in sparring. To your credit, you never denied that. And what is this rough street Aikido?
Did Aikido give me something? It changed my life. The fact that I can do these videos, the fact that I can talk about it, Aikido has helped me develop that quality, that character.
You have trained it for many years until you got your black belt, and now you're on the top of a hierarchy that is based on self-delusion and lies. Yes, your life is different. You have your own academy, you teach others who hold you in high esteem, you make money out of it, and you do the same with your YouTube channel. Which would be fine if all that was not based on an illusion. Aikido is advertised as a martial art, but as we've just seen, it is very ineffective. So, isn't it dishonest that Aikidokas call themselves martial artists when everything martial is missing from their training? Not only do I find it dishonest, but also insulting. Here's why. Us real martial artists got to our skill level by actually pressure testing it either in sparring or in competition. While Aikidokas haven't had one sparring, not one, because there is no sparring in Aikido. I've had 2 knee surgeries, 1 elbow surgery, I have 4 herniated discs, I broke my collarbone, my nose, my rib, I've had numerous ankle and shoulder sprains, and that's just off the top of my head. All this because I competed a lot, trained like a maniac, lifted tons of weights, ran who knows how many kilometers, and sparred more than you executed breakfalls. This is usual for people like me, and it's called paying your dues. And that is how you become good in martial arts. Look, the motto of my YouTube channel is train smart, then hard. And one of the reasons I created it was to help martial artists minimize the chance of injury by training smart. If you really want to become good at combat sports, injuries cannot be avoided, only minimized. That is the nature of the beast, unfortunately. You mentioned that Aikido built your character. I'd like to know how. And I will also tell you how reality-based combat sports like MMA build character. You get tapped, taken down, punched, kicked, and dominated all the time, and that keeps your ego in check. It also builds character when you overcome all that and continue to improve. That can only be achieved if you expose yourself to the truth on an ongoing basis. Here, truth means taking a hard look at yourself and assessing where you suck and how to improve. It's not easy. That's what martial arts like Aikido desperately lack, and that is why I resent when you call yourself martial artists. Perhaps it would be more accurate to call yourself martial arts historians in movement or something similar.
If I would use it for self-defense in a street situation, maybe I would use it differently. Maybe it would work, maybe it wouldn't. I think it would work. Maybe not against a tough fighter as Tadas, but not everyone knows how to fight. Not everyone goes to the street to fight like that.
Wouldn't you rather train something that can work against both people that know how to fight and those that don't but might attack you? Why limit yourself to the second category only? And I'm not even convinced that Aikido could save you from a determined street brawler with no martial arts experience.
Bicycle riding is great for your health, you have fresh air, but you can't race with a car. You have to race with a car. Is it worth training Aikido? For sure, but you have to be clear why you're training. If you want Aikido to be something more of a fighting art, you have to make it. But so far, if you're not going to make it into a self-development art and with a sense of self-defense on the side, you're going to try to pretend that it's the best martial art in the world, I'm not sure that's a great point. Be clear, why train Aikido, what are you seeking for, and don't try to compare bicycles with cars.
Okay, I agree. You have to know why you're training it, and you cannot compare bicycles with cars. So, why are you training it? And how do you make Aikido into a more of a fighting art? Then we move on to the aftermath video, the one Rokas made after all the feedback to the sparring video.
The more the video spreads around, the more Aikido people come by and they still stay in that same illusional realm where they believe that, I personally sucked and I personally wasn't adequate. And as I said, yes, I'm not adequate, but I think as much as most Aikido people.
That is a defense mechanism, and their entire identity would collapse if they were to admit to themselves that Aikido is not effective. Sadly, it is much easier to delude themselves than to face up to the harsh truth.
But anyway, the process continues. I really don't want to stop here. What would you suggest could be the next step? What would you feel, where do you feel Aikido could go? And if we're looking at Aikido meeting modern martial arts, what would be the proper way to do it?
I'm not sure Aikido in its current form can go anywhere, and I suspect that a lot of its techniques would be difficult to pull off even if a practitioner was also trained in modern martial arts. Some techniques could probably be transferred to realistic combat, but the setups would have to be different. What I like about MMA and BJJ is that both arts are open source, meaning they are constantly evolving and incorporating techniques from other styles. For example, BJJ took leg locks from Sambo and made them more efficient. Who knows, maybe some Aikido techniques could be modified for MMA and BJJ purposes. One would have to know both disciplines to blend them together, if that is even possible.
Now, alongside that way, one of the solutions that I'm looking into and I'm really excited about is I'm planning to do a YouTube series on my channel called Modernizing Aikido. It's more or less going to be a follow-up of the MMA versus Aikido sparring. I will go to a few different instructors, modern martial arts instructors, probably going to go back to Tadas, do my best to meet a BJJ black belt, connect up and train with some of the more combative Aikido styles, see what else is out there, and just expose myself to it and ask the question with them on a practical level. Okay, so how would Aikido blend in this scenario? What should be done for an Aikido person to not rule the ring, but to at least feel comfortable and to manage to use some of the things which an Aikidoka learned for years beforehand?
Exposing yourself to more modern martial arts coaches is a great idea, both from a personal growth perspective and a YouTube channel development. Many would be interested to follow your progress. But I think you're wasting your time and that the answer is staring you in the face. ditch Aikido and start training in one or more modern martial arts. That is, of course, if you want proficiency in combat.
And personally, my intention is not to become an MMA fighter. My intention is not to switch martial arts. I'm just, since so many people are enthusiastic about this topic, I decided to go into it together with you so we would again do it justice. And also I'm really frustrated about so many Aikido people just being so delusional, and I know how you guys probably felt for years now. I want to also dive deep enough into the video. Of course, the delusional people can stay delusional for as long as they want.
I'm glad that you recognize the delusion in the Aikido community. But I'm not sure what is it that you intend to do with Aikido and what benefit can one have by training it, except burning a few calories and social interactions. My biggest gripe with Aikido is that Aikido senseis have brainwashed generations and generations of people that thought they were getting something valuable in terms of martial efficiency. It angers me when I think of all the years thousands upon thousands of people, and especially children, have spent living and training a lie. So many people's potential destroyed. Shooting takedowns like the double leg are the most widely used takedowns in MMA. If you want to add them to your arsenal, check out this instructional. The link is in the description. To end on a light note, Rokas seems like a very nice and humble guy who genuinely wanted to ask these questions. What do you think about Aikido and its future? Is it really a martial art, and what should Rokas do next? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. Check out my other videos too. And if you're interested in a more in-depth MMA training, check out my instructionals. My name is Mark Leichner from MMAcoach.net, and I will see you again very soon.